If you have ever planned something big and then done absolutely nothing about it, it is not because you are naturally lazy or unmotivated today. There is literally a complex neurological cycle happening inside your brain right now that prevents you from pursuing your most ambitious dreams and creative goals. In this video, I will explain exactly how this system works and, more importantly, provide you with the tools to fix it for good. I study cognitive science and computation at the university, where I explore the mysteries of the human mind. After 4 years of studying how the human mind works, I believe this is the most fascinating and useful concept I have ever encountered. Procrastination researcher Tim Pikyle has spent decades studying why people fail to do the things they have promised themselves they would eventually accomplish. His research found that procrastination is not a time management problem. It is, in fact, a deeply rooted emotion regulation problem within the brain. When you have something important to do, like starting a creative project or submitting an application, your brain reacts in a very specific way. When you think about actually starting that difficult task, your brain generates a sudden wave of intense negative emotions that can feel quite overwhelming. These emotions can manifest as self-doubt, total overwhelm, or a deep sense of anxiety about the quality of the work you might produce. You might have a hidden fear that the result is not going to be good enough, so your brain chooses a path of least resistance. Because your brain does not like negative emotions, it tries to escape. You start cleaning your room or reorganizing your entire desk instead. You pick up your phone and start scrolling through social media. Suddenly, that heavy, negative feeling of dread starts to fade away quickly. You feel a sense of relief. This immediate shift from stress to comfort is exactly what keeps you trapped in the cycle of procrastination. Here is the interesting part, that relief in itself is a powerful psychological reward. Behaviors that get rewarded are much more likely to be repeated. Your brain learns that avoiding a difficult task leads to a short-term feeling of relief, which it perceives as a very positive outcome. As a result, your brain starts doing it automatically every single time you are faced with something that feels even slightly difficult or scary. This creates the avoidance loop. You are faced with a task, it triggers a negative emotion. You avoid it, and then you feel relief. The next time you face a challenge, you default to avoidance because your brain is seeking that specific trigger of immediate emotional relief. Inside your brain, there are two systems competing for control. The first is your amygdala, which acts as your body's primary alarm system. The amygdala is responsible for detecting threats. If a task seems overwhelming, it treats that work as a physical threat to your safety. It screams at you, "Don't do this! Run away! This is dangerous!" It forces you to avoid the task to protect you from discomfort. The second part is the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, or the DAC. This is the part of your brain that actually makes you act. The DAC takes the fear signal from the amygdala and tries to shut it down so you can push forward with what needs doing. When you procrastinate, the amygdala is winning. This is known as an amygdala hijack, where your emotional brain overrides your rational, logical brain. You essentially flee from the task at hand. If you do not address this battle, the situation only gets worse over time. Every time you go through this avoidance loop, you are physically strengthening the neural pathway for procrastination through repetitive biological reinforcement. As the saying goes, what you repeat, you become. The procrastination circuit gets faster and becomes your brain's default setting for everything. Meanwhile, your discipline circuit weakens like a muscle that has been left unused for far too long, making it harder to start next time. If your brain can train itself to avoid work, could you theoretically train it to do the complete opposite and become highly disciplined? Tim Pikyle spent 20 years trying to answer that. The solution he found is embarrassingly simple. You just have to start the task. No need to finish it. No need to even perform well. You just have to commit to the task for 5 to 10 minutes. The key is to not think about the outcome. You must learn to interrupt the avoidance loop before it has the chance to take hold. Here is how you do it. Step number 1 is to catch the feeling and name it. Awareness is your most powerful weapon here. When you notice yourself procrastinating, think about the specific emotion you are experiencing. Are you feeling overwhelmed, anxious, or perhaps afraid of failing? Just naming that emotion is often enough to help you switch from your emotional mind back into your rational, logical mind. The second step is to make your task stupidly small. Think about the tiniest possible action you can set as your immediate goal. Don't think about writing a whole essay tonight. Tell yourself your only task is to open a Google Doc and write for 10 minutes. Instead of an hour-long workout, think of your task as just putting on your shoes and stepping outside your front door. Starting for just 10 minutes is powerful because the actual process is almost always much easier than the extreme dread you feel beforehand. Peichel showed this beautifully in a study where he gave 45 students pagers back before smartphones even existed in our daily lives. He would page them 8 times a day for 5 days. They had to report what they were doing and how they felt. The data showed that students consistently procrastinated on tasks they found difficult, replacing them with activities that were much more interesting or exciting. But here is what Peichel found most interesting. Early in the week, these students would constantly justify their behavior with clever excuses. They would say things like, "I work better under pressure," or "I will feel more like doing it tomorrow morning instead." But when the deadline actually forced them to start, not one of them was glad they waited until the very last minute. They all wished they had started earlier. They realized the task wasn't actually as bad or as painful as they had imagined. You are not avoiding the task itself. You are avoiding the way you think the task is going to make you feel. Your brain is wrong about the predicted suffering almost all of the time. It exaggerates the pain of starting and hides the joy. You might think, "I'm busy all the time, so why can't I start?" Your brain doesn't let you sit idle because that triggers guilt. Guilt is another negative emotion the amygdala tries to escape. So, it cleverly disguises your avoidance as something that looks like productivity. There are 2 specific disguises I want to discuss with you today. The first disguise of procrastination is perfectionism. Research shows that perfectionists are actually bigger procrastinators because they are terrified that their work won't be absolutely perfect from the start. Perfectionist professors actually publish fewer papers than their less perfectionist colleagues. Perfectionism makes you never start, so you never fall short. The second disguise is productive procrastination. This is the sneakiest one because it makes you feel like you are actually doing something. You are researching, organizing, or watching YouTube videos about productivity instead of actually doing the hard work that really matters for your goal. Maybe you are even watching this video right now instead of working on your current assignment or that new business project you planned. Peichel calls this short-term mood repair. Your brain swaps a risky task for a safer one to give you a fake sense of accomplishment. It feels good to color code your notes or perfect your resume for the 5th time, but the actual scary task hasn't moved an inch. Remember, you are avoiding how you think the task will feel. But once you start, you realize the dread was the worst part. Now you know what the avoidance loop looks like, how your brain disguises it, and exactly how you can break it today. Subscribe if this video helped you understand your brain better. Please let me know in the comments what other topics you want to see. I am currently building out this channel, so any support, likes or comments would be greatly appreciated by me and the team. I will see you in the next one. Don't wait for the perfect moment or inspiration, just start your journey right now. Take that first tiny step, break the cycle, and watch how your big dreams finally start becoming a tangible reality in your life. Your neurobiology is on your side once you understand the rules of the game. You have the power to rewire your habits. Action is the only cure for the fear that holds you back. Go ahead and take that first small, stupidly easy step today. The story of your big dreams doesn't have to end in inaction. It starts the moment you decide to stop running away. Thank you for watching. And remember that understanding your mind is the first step toward mastering your entire future world. Just start. 10 minutes. That is all it takes to break the loop and start moving toward the life you've always wanted. The path ahead is clear now that you know the tricks your brain plays. Use this knowledge to conquer your biggest goals. Every masterpiece began with a single simple stroke. Every business started with one small decision. Yours starts with this very moment. Let this insight be the light that guides you through the fog of procrastination and into the bright world of consistent achievement. You are more capable than your anxiety leads you to believe. Trust the science, trust the process, and, most importantly, trust yourself. Feel the weight lifting as you realize that your laziness was just a misunderstanding of your own beautiful protective brain. Go and do the thing you've been putting off. You will be surprised at how much lighter you feel once you finally begin. Time is moving, but now you are moving with it. No more standing still while your dreams wait on the sidelines. Focus on the next 5 minutes. That is your only world. The rest will take care of itself as you build momentum. Your big dreams are not a burden, they are a destination. And every small action you take is a step closer to the summit. Forgive yourself for the days you lost to the loop. Today is a new day, with new neural pathways waiting to be built. Growth is often quiet and small at first. Don't underestimate the power of your tiny starts. They are the seeds of your future. Create an environment that supports your new habit. Name the feeling, shrink the task, and just let yourself begin without any judgment. You are not alone in this struggle. Millions are learning to navigate their brains just like you are doing right now. Imagine the feeling of finishing. That true relief is much better than the fake relief of avoidance. Chase the real thing. Your potential is limitless once you stop being your own bottleneck. Break the cycle and let your brilliance finally shine through. The world needs your big dreams to become reality. Don't keep us waiting any longer. We are all rooting for your success. Now, go spend the next 10 minutes on your most important task. You know what to do. You have the science. You have the steps. The only thing left is to simply take action. Start now. Not tomorrow, not in an hour, but right this second. Your future self will thank you for this small beginning. Goodbye for now, and may your journey from dreamer to doer be filled with steady progress and wonderful new discoveries every day. Thank you for spending your time with my channel.